Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. So it's day 2 of the Biannual Bibliothon, and today's challenge is from Dylan, and it is called Creative Expression. So the basic premise of this challenge is to talk about either like a book that you love or an author that you love. Basically give some recognition to something that you really love. If you've been on this channel for any length of time, then you'll know what I'm going to talk about, or more specifically, who I'm going to talk about. So I mean, I'm sorry, I can't help it. I love David Gemmell.
So anyone who's been on this channel for very long knows that if I was asked to spread love to my favourite author, then the person I'd be spreading love to would be David Gemmell. David Gemmell is an author who I first encountered when I was 13, around 13 at least. I actually encountered him 2 weeks after he'd passed away. He has for a long time been my dad's favourite author, and when I encountered him I was looking for something. I had reread and reread Harry Potter, and I just hadn't found a series that could catch me the same way. I'd also been madly in love with Lord of the Rings, because that was the kind of preteen teenager I was. So when I first gave my dad's favourite book a go, I thought, what am I going to lose here? It might be alright. And I kind of fell in love. Legend has always been my favourite book. There's something so visual about the scenes that David Gemmell creates. The plot isn't complex, really. It's effectively the Battle of Thermopylae, where a few stand against the many, an invading force, coming up against those who look like they should be completely hopeless. It has a love story. The love story isn't exactly that well thought out, but I kind of love it that it isn't, because it's between two people who think they're about to die, and are just sort of taking love where they can get it, which is something that I appreciate, because it doesn't all have to be flowers and rainbows all the time. It could be seizing happiness where you can find it. There are other characters who are either innately likeable or become likeable throughout the series, and there are some absolute arseholes, because, you know, you need those. And that's me leaving out my all-time favourite character, Druss the Legend. Now, Druss in Legend is actually a 60-year-old man. He's achy, he has a bad knee, he is grumpy, he's an old man. He doesn't want to go fighting, but it's what he's good at. And he, for me, is a source of morale for everyone else. He is hope in hopelessness. The way that he makes his entrance instantly lifts morale to everyone else. And it almost feels like maybe they have a chance. Maybe we won't all die at the hands of the invading Nadir. And I think when I first read that, and every time I've read it since, that's always been something for me, is that there is always something. There is always someone that can be the hope in the darkness. Now I'm going to move on before I get too emotional, because this book makes me emotional, and talk about the battle scenes. Now, when David Gemmell creates a battle, it's so visual. When I try and think back to it, I can imagine exactly the setting. I can imagine the fortress in which the battles take place. I can see it. And there's something so special about being able to do that, because that doesn't happen for me often. I don't find that a setting of a book is so visually imprinted in my mind as has happened with pretty much all of David Gemmell's books, but specifically Legend. I can have conversations with people who have read Legend and they feel the same way, and I think the quality of his writing just generates that sort of amazing visual sense. So anyway, I think I've rambled quite long enough. The basic gist of all this rambling is to say that I love David Gemmell, and I think that his talent as a writer, even in his very first book, is completely prevalent. And if you haven't yet had a chance to pick up his work, then you really should. I don't know if you'll love it. I don't know if I just love David Gemmell because I picked up his work when I really needed to, and his work's been there with me ever since. And I can always go back there and keep rereading them, because I always want to. It's a really strange thing to have one of those authors that you can go and reread their work and just know that you're going to love it the same way that you did the first time you read it. But he is that for me, and I don't know, check him out. Maybe he will be that for you too.
So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that that kind of goes at least a little way into describing how much I love David Gemmell and what his work and contribution to fantasy and, you know, my life actually has meant to me. So, yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!